reading passage 3, you should spend about 20 minutes on questions 27 to 40, which are based on reading passage 3 below. How to make wise decisions. Across cultures, wisdom has been considered one of the most revered human qualities. Although the truly wise may seem few and far between, empirical research examining wisdom suggests that it isn't exceptional trait possessed by a small handful of bearded philosophers after all. In fact, the least studied suggest that most of us have the ability to make wise decisions given the right context. It appears that experiential, situational, and cultural factors are even more powerful in shaping wisdom than previously imagined, says Associate Professor Igor Grossman of the University of Waterloo in Ontario, Canada. Recent empirical findings for cognitive, developmental, social, and personality psychology cumulatively suggest that people's ability to reason wisely varies dramatically across experiential and situational context. Understanding the role of such contextual factors offers unique insights into understanding wisdom in daily life, as well as how it can be enhanced and taught. It seems that it's not so much that some people simply possess wisdom and others lack it, but that our ability to reason wisely depends on a variety of external factors. It is impossible to characterize thought processes, attitude, and to wisdom without considering the role of contextual factors, explains Grossman. In other words, wisdom is not solely an inner quality, but rather unfolds as a function of situations people happen to be in. Some situations are more likely to promote wisdom than others. Coming up with a definition of wisdom is challenging, but Grossman and his colleagues have identified 4 key characteristics as part of a framework of wise reasoning. One is intellectual humility, or recognition of the limits of our own knowledge, and another is appreciation of perspectives wider than the issue at hand. Sensitivity to the possibility of change in social relations is also key, along with the compromise or integration of different attitudes and beliefs. Grossman and his colleagues have also found that one of the most reliable ways to support wisdom in our own day-to-day decisions is to look at scenarios from a third-party perspective, as though giving advice to a friend. Research suggests that when adopting a first-person viewpoint, we focus on the focal features of the environment, and when we adopt a third-person observer viewpoint, we reason more broadly and focus more on interpersonal and moral ideals such as justice and impartiality. Looking at problems from this more expansive viewpoint appears to foster cognitive processes related to wise decisions. What are we to do and then when confronted with situations like a disagreement with a spouse or negotiating a contract at work that require us to take a personal step. Grossman argues that even when we aren't able to change the situation, we can still evaluate these experiences from different perspectives. For example, in the experiment that took place during the peak of a recent economic recession, graduating college seniors were asked to reflect on their job prospects. The students were instructed to imagine their career either as if you were a distant observer or before your own eyes as if you were right there. Participants in the group assigned to the distant observer role displayed more wisdom, related reasoning, intellectual humility, and recognition of change than did participants in the control group. In another study, couples in long-term romantic relationships were instructed to visualize an unresolved relationship conflict either through the eyes of an outsider or from their own perspective. Participants then discussed the incident with their partner from 10 minutes, after which they wrote down their thoughts about it. Couples in the other's eyes condition are significantly more likely to rely on wise reasoning, recognizing others' perspectives and researching for a compromise compared to the couples in the egocentric condition. Ego decentering promotes greater focus on others and enables a bigger picture, conceptual view of the experience, offering a recognition of intellectual humility and change, says Grossman. We might associate wisdom with intelligence or particular personality traits, but research shows only a small positive relationship between wise thinking and crystallized intelligence, and the personality traits of openness and agreeableness. It is remarkable how much people can vary in their wisdom from one situation to the next, and how much stronger such contextual effects are for understanding the relationship between wise judgment and its social and affective outcomes as compared to the generalized traits. Grossman explains, that is, knowing how wisely a person behaves in a given situation is more informative for understanding their emotions or likelihood to forgive or retaliate as compared to knowing whether the person may be wise in general. Questions 27 to 30. Choose the correct letter A, B, C, or D. Write the correct letter in boxes 27 to 30 on your answer sheet. What point does the writer make in the paragraph? A basic assumption that about wisdom may be wrong. B. What does Igor Grossman suggest about the ability to make wise decisions? The importance of certain influences on age was underestimated. Option C. According to the third paragraph, Grossman claims that the level of wisdom an individual shows will be different in different circumstances. Option B. One is described in the fifth paragraph. A recommended strategy that can help people to reason wisely. Option D. Questions 31 to 35, complete the summary using the list of words A to J below. Write the correct letter A to J in boxes 31 to 35 on the answer sheet. The characteristics of wise reasoning. Igor Grossman and colleagues have established 4 characteristics which enable us to make wise decisions. It is important to have a certain degree of modesty. D. Regarding the extent of our knowledge and to take into account opinions. A. Which may not be same as our own. We should also be able to take a broad view. C. Of any situation. Another key characteristic is being aware of the likelihood of relations in the way that people relate to each other. Grossman also believes that it is better to regard scenarios with objectivity. F. By avoiding the first-person perspective, we focus more on fairness. G. And on other moral ideals, which in turn leads to wiser decision making. Questions 36 to 40. Do the following statements agree with the information given in reading passage C? In box 36 to 40 on your answer sheet, write true if the statement agrees with the information. False if the statement contradicts the information. Not given if there is no information on this. Students participating in the job prospects experiment could choose one of 2 perspectives to take. False. Participants in the couples experiment were aware that they were taking part in a study about wise reasoning. Not given. In the couples experiment, the length of the couple's relationship had an impact on the results. Not given. In both experiments, the participants who looked at the situation from a more detached viewpoint tended to make wiser decisions. True. Grossman believes that a person's wisdom is determined by their intelligence to only a very limited extent. True.